Okay, I had to just stop for a second. I was just recording a second ago. And I don't have to say this. I don't have to tell nobody this. But at this point, I just feel like saying whatever is. I don't have to. I'm tired of caring about who's going to judge. I was talking just a second ago and recording. And a doggone siren came by. And I was like, I don't like that. So let me cut this off and just take a second, right? Let's take 5 seconds of silence for a second. Well, not for a second, 5 seconds, right? And then I cut it back on and record. So that's what I did. Had to take a moment of silence. I don't like no sirens coming by. I mean, I can see if I'm like in a real big city where they just come by all the time anyway, like you can't get around that, but you rarely hear it in this area like that if it just passed by while I'm recording something. I had to just stop recording and take a moment of silence and then start back. Anyway, so I want to talk about something that's not even serious because I don't feel like being serious all the time. Okay? Every now and then it's a good time for laughter, right? So this is something I'm talking about that's not that serious. But it should be taken seriously, but it's not that serious, not to me anyway. And as somebody just brought up, right, Nick Cannon, right? He's just an example. This is not to have a conversation about Nick Cannon because honestly, I don't know what's going on with Nick Cannon. I keep hearing about babies and stuff. I don't even keep up with these celebrities. So this is not to have no conversation about whatever Nick Cannon is doing. But this is just an example that I want to bring up because I heard somebody else briefly say something about him, right? And about how he made some comment about who the real Hebrew Israelites is, and then the Jewish people made him apologize. And a lot of brown people got upset because he actually apologized so he can get that money back. He can start back making the money. Here's what I want to say. I don't know why brown people expect, just because they tolerate so much abuse and disrespect from other groups of people, and brown women tolerate it even more. And that's not a judgment. I don't know why is a problem with so much patience when it comes to the brown women and tolerating abuse. Like you have a patient with somebody spiritually, not physically, sometimes physically, but for the most part, spiritually and psychologically, brown women are too patient with allowing people to spiritually and psychologically punch them in the face. And a lot of us are guilty of that, okay? Because we don't understand, if it's not a physical punch, we don't understand how severe it is. And a lot of us brown women are very patient with spiritual and psychological punches, right? But I want to say a lot of brown people was just upset that Nick Cannon went back and apologized so he can start back getting those checks. The problem with brown folks is that they really expect that they're going to go in, because they have tolerated so much disrespect, and they have taught people, the very people who are running over them right now, they have taught these people magic hundreds of years ago. A lot of people have learned a lot of stuff from brown people, over the centuries, right, or over the millennia. Even from Africa to the United States of America, and even before the United States of America became a nation. Even before then, a lot of them have learned from brown people. And then you see people come back and they slap you in the face, and I guess for some reason you feel like, okay, well, since I put up with so much disrespect and I ain't doing nothing about it, you think you're going to disrespect somebody while you're getting their money. And you think you're going to disrespect them, even if they're liars. Okay, it doesn't matter if they're liars. You're taking money from those liars. You knew that those people were liars when you decided to take a job from them. So no need to complain. It didn't stop you from taking their money, and you knew they were liars when you started taking their checks. Right? And this is not to put no finger on nobody, because a lot of us are working for somebody else. Okay? So this is not to point the finger. But so that's what I'm saying is that, people criticize him for apologizing. It's like, well, here's the thing. Because you can't really blame Jews, even if they're liars. They still have a sense about them that they're not going to let nobody disrespect them and then continue to pay them, right? Even if they are liars. And that's going to be most people, okay, with any kind of with any kind of preservation for themselves, right? They're not going to just pay somebody, and then especially another group of people, and allow those group of people to completely disrespect them. See, the Jews don't run this media industry for nothing. They didn't run it from being stupid, okay? So they understand the implications of allowing people to completely disrespect them, and especially a brown male of all people, right? Because brown people are supposed to be at the bottom, right? So a brown male of all people to get on to disrespect them on their dime, okay? And for some reason, brown people don't understand why the Jews hopped on him. I don't know why they don't get it. But they're wrong. See, I did a video yesterday, uploaded a video yesterday about expecting people to have the same or similar morals that you have. You think hey, sweetie, hi. I'm waving at a little boy. Hi, you. Okay, I know, I'm crazy about little children. I don't have any, but I like to play with them. But anyway, so, see, he's distracting me because I like little kids. But anyway, yeah, what was I? You see how they do? Kids. Let me stop. But, yeah. I don't know. I uploaded a video about expecting people to have the same or similar values that you have, but somebody came in the comment section and said something that was that I knew, but that's why it's good to see what other people have to say, because they say, well, for the most part, people have all these expectations for other people and only one expectation for themselves, and have a bunch for other people. And that's so true. But you can't expect them to just see that they're wrong and allow him to just say what he want to say over the air because they're wrong or they're liars. See, that's that moral stuff that I was talking about. They don't care. They don't even believe that they're wrong. They don't believe that they are wrong. Okay? This is what I'm talking about. Just because you have a concept of what's right and what's wrong, and that they're wrong for stealing your identity and whatever, doesn't mean that they're going to feel bad and stop lying. It doesn't mean they're going to allow you to disrespect them, even if you are telling the truth. Doesn't mean they're going to allow you, on their dime, to tell the truth. You do it on your own dime, and even when you do it on your own dime, they still going to come after you. So you're still going to need some power behind you. You're still going to need something behind you, because even if you do it on your own dime, these people control media. Hold on. Sorry, I can't get that up. Sorry, it's people going. Hold on. Yeah, I like to come to this place and sit outside because I live right behind it, and I don't like to sit in the house all the time and stuff. I like to get out. I like to be outside in this place. I'm kind of sitting outside. It's shaded because they have it's shaded, so I'm not in the sun. It's not that hot. So I like coming out here. But anyway, when people are walking through and I'm talking about stuff like this, I kind of slow down and stop talking for a second because I'm the only one outside right now, and everybody else is on the inside. But, yeah. You can't expect people just because you feel like they're wrong, and they don't care if they're wrong or right. They care about getting whatever they want, right? They care about conquering. They don't care if they're wrong or right. They just care about domination, okay? But brown people want to keep saying things are right and wrong and think somebody's going to give a darn and care and try to do whatever you call the right thing based on whatever your morals are. But brown people don't hardly have morals for themselves, okay? Brown people in general, not every 100% of a person who is brown or so-called black, but for a collective of brown people, they don't have really any morals for themselves to be trying to put morals on other groups of people who they want to call liars or whatever they want to call is wrong. They don't have a certain set of morals or standards for themselves to even be a stable community. Some other group of people got to come in and stabilize their community. They don't even have those kind of standards for themselves. Okay? So even if they feel like they are Hebrew Israelite or whatever, they ain't going to do nothing about it. They're not going to try to claim who they are. They're not going to try to claim their birthright back because they don't have that kind of fight in them. They think that another entity named Yeshua or Yehoshua, Hamashiach, is just going to come back at some appointed time and just come and get all these people. So they're not going to fight for themselves anyway. So nobody cares if whoever believes they're Hebrew Israelite. This is just an example. I'm not going to get on Hebrew Israelites. What I'm saying, because I'm not going to say that there are people are right or wrong in saying that they're Hebrew Israelite. I don't know who these folks are. I don't know enough to say that they're not. My point is, though, they don't, whatever they feel like they are, they don't have the fight in them. And they don't. They don't have the fight in them. They don't have the guts to fight for what belongs to them, right? They don't have the guts to fight for what belongs to them. So whatever they want to call themselves, they're just going to keep talking and talking and talking until whoever they believe this person, Yahushua, is, this man who they feel like is a black man or a brown man. I guess they feel like it's going to be the time when he comes back and collect all his people. Until then, they just don't have the fight in them to get what belongs to them. So nobody cares about what they have to say or who's lying. I don't care if the Jewish people are lying. There should be some fight. These people should have conjured up some ancestors, some spirits or whatever. And I'm not even into too much of stuff like that because I feel like there's no outer world, there's the inner world. And I feel like this is a matrix, and I feel like a lot of things, because I feel like we're in a virtual reality, most of what we see, even when we eat food, the food is not really here. It tastes good because it's the information I take in, right? When you have babies, that baby is not physically born, but it's all information. Even what I think is my physical body is all information. I'm hallucinating it. So my point is that even when I talk about spirits and stuff like that, I don't really see it in the way that other people see it because they don't see themselves in the virtual reality, but I do. And so when I talk about spirits and stuff like that, I'm talking about things that you create. The ancestors are already in you. The ancestors are already a part of you. So you honor yourself, you honor those ancestors, and you make them stronger just by making yourself stronger. Okay, the ancestors that actually are good for you, right? Same thing with spirits. You can create those. So a lot of those spirits are aspects of you. So I don't see it the way that a lot of people see it because they still have their mind, even though they practice magic, they have their mind on what they think is an outside world. But hold on a second. Nobody cares. And at this point, I don't even care who wants to call themselves a Hebrew Israelite right now. And it's not because I think they're lying. That's not the reason. Hold on. It's not because I think they're lying. I think the way it's been taught is probably not the correct way, or not identifying correctly who the real tribes of Israel are, the way it's been taught by groups of people in the United States of America. I do believe that is probably not true, the way they have these tribes. Okay. So that I do believe, but esoterically, when I talk about things like this and people pass by, I don't like to just people to pass by and hear this, because you never know what might go off in them. They might, you never know what they might know. But anyway, esoterically, I mean, there is Hebrew Israelites, right? And but it's a different way that Hebrew Israelites is described, right? But what I want to say is that my point being is that I hear a lot of people from the United States of America and in the Western world that want to just get on this Hebrew Israelites and how other groups of people are thieves and stole their identity. And they just complain and complain for years and years and years. And here's the problem. This is another thing. I hate to be stuck on Hebrew Israelites. I don't know why I got stuck there. But you remember they had this Hebrew Israelite community started by, I think his name is Ben Amin. I don't know if that's his name, Ben Amin or something. Okay, I think it might have been started in the 60s or 70s, because I think he said he might have heard from God or the Archangel Gabriel. I can't remember. But it was in the 60s or 70s. And they started this Hebrew Israelite community over there near, I think, Tel Aviv. I think it was near the airport in Israel, near Tel Aviv, if I'm not mistaken. And what happened? I don't know. I think those people are getting put out. But a lot of people had things to say about that community too. About, I don't know, about if the women were being treated bad, or what they had to say about that community, or about the living conditions. Because even with that, they still needed a handout from the Jews, from the people that they say stole their identity, and they still needed a handout from them, right? So, and I think I saw where these people have been ordered to leave, like that community. They have to leave that community. That community has been dismantled. So even that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, is that there was enough brown people that came together that could have held up a strong community. And for some reason, these Jews, these liars, seem to just be so much more powerful. And so nobody can take brown folks seriously. And even when they're in their own communities, we see a serious abuse of each other. I don't know what was going on with that community, but it was a lot of things said. When I was really into the Hebrew Israelites and listening to the teachings and stuff, I used to click on and see what was going on in that community a lot. Several times a week, I would like to explore that community and see what was going on. And then I started to, it looked like it was peaceful. It looked like people were peace. They were eating healthy. They were happy, It's not about having all these stores and the big buildings. That's European, really. That's not necessarily the brown people's nature. The brown people's nature is all about trees and stuff, and so they don't like their buildings to be higher than the trees, because they don't want nothing covering the sun. So I'm not, I'm not talking about having a community together when it's about as far as big buildings, but it just looked like I started to see where there was complaints about that community, how, women were being treated and stuff like that, and the men were, some of them were just kind of mistreating the women and stuff, So yeah, it just looks like the brown community, especially in the United States of America, have a hard time holding things together, okay? Just have a hard time holding things together as a group. And I don't hate to say this, I'm going to say what I observed. The brown male and the brown female is just incompatible. See, if it was a bunch of brown women who were healthy, that came together, that's not influenced by men's ideas or the male's ideas that's from the black culture, I'll say, it seems like they would have been able to hold that together, and no Jews or anybody would have been able to kick them out. Okay, but it seems like when there's brown men and brown women, I don't know what's going on. They just seem to be, even though brown women are giving birth to brown men, there's just no compatibility there. You can't hold a community together, seem like, with brown men and brown women together. It just seems like an incompatibility. It seems like members of that group, the brown community, no matter where they are, the people in the brown community tears it up. So they're not compatible. They're not compatible. But okay, I just kind of went there. I just went on a little brief tangent there. I just mean to kind of be funny and talk about how brown people think they're going to get paid from somebody else and think they're going to go somewhere publicly and talk about them where they can hear it, right? You go on air and talk about Jews where they can hear everything you say, and you think they're going to continue to pay you. I just looking at the humor in that, because you really think it's because you tolerate disrespect that they're going to tolerate it too. Okay? And also, just about the Nick Cannon and the brown community all together, right? I think he might have enough money. I don't know what's in his pockets. I don't go by the celebrity network stuff. I don't get into all of that. But I believe he have enough money, and I believe he know enough brown people, other brown people, or other people who just have his back altogether. I think they could have come up with some kind of company of their own, so he don't have to worry about bowing down and apologizing to some group of people who stole his identity according to him. Then him and other people with money in the industry should come together and get their own stuff. That way they can say whatever they want to say without having to apologize all the time, right? So that's another reason why I'm not here to think that the Jews are wrong for what they do and making somebody apologize. I'm not here to believe that they're wrong, because there's too many people that still, and this is not a criticism, I'm just telling the truth, but it's not to judge anybody. There's too many people who give them the power. It's too many people who depend on them. It's too many people who depend on their dime, and too many people who depends on their media. So they give too much power is given to the Jews, and then we blame the Jews for being who they are, but so much power is given to them. People sell their businesses to Jews. People start these businesses, a lot of brown people start their businesses. They might start magazines. They might start their own networks. And what they do is that they take it, what used to be owned by brown people, and they take it and they sell it to Jews. And they get mad that Jews do what they do. This is the same problem that Hitler had. A lot of people hate Hitler, and I'm not here to defend Hitler, but the major problem I saw with Germany was a lot of them Jews that wanted to take over like they're doing right now. This is what they wanted to do in Germany, and that was the issue I think Hitler had with them. Okay? Hitler ain't about somebody else running him, because he's a dictator himself. Right? So he ain't about no other group of people coming in and running over his nation when he's a dictator himself. Right? So, yeah. You know, people give them all this power and then blame them for being who they are, but they don't blame themselves. And in all of our lives, we have given other people power over us. So once again, I'm saying that's not a judgment. It's just telling the truth. My truth, the way I see it now. But it's not a judgment, because all of us in some time or another giving power away to somebody else, and in a lot of cases we still do. It's not even a lot of cases. In most cases we still do. And we still do because we have yet to put enough time into accessing our own internal power, right? And so when we are lazy about accessing our own internal power, we give power to somebody else because we're lazy about accessing our own internal power. So when they decided to shut off the lights, we're in darkness. Why? Because we were too lazy to access our own internal power, to know that the light is inside of us. We're the light, right? But we have been too lazy to really learn how to access that aspect of ourselves. We've been too busy with other things. And so that power continues to go to somebody else, even when it comes to food. If the outer world is an illusion, then how are you running out of food? Why can't you create it? Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. So, you know, we continue to give our power away the same way Nick Cannon gave his power away by taking somebody else's checks and then think he's going to talk about them. You know, like like Saucy Santana disrespecting black women. But black women going to continue to support him, and that's why he's going to continue to disrespect them, because he know, seems like the more you disrespect some people, it's almost like the more you disrespect them, the more you get support from them, and the more you show them love, the less they support you. And that, unfortunately, that seems to be a lot of brown women. The more you disrespect, the more the brown male, the more the brown male disrespect them, the more they support the brown male, just like a lot of brown women called Kevin Samuels. It was so many other relationship experts that came before him that give great advice, but for some reason brown women was attracted to Kevin Samuels, knowing that this is according to them, because I never watched a lot of his shows. I'm going to say according to other people, because I can't say, I don't watch his shows to really say something from what I hear, right? So from what other people have said. He disrespect brown women. And it's like, but while the brown women continue to support him by continually calling into his show, by watching his show, they're supporting him by doing that, and they probably send him money. Okay, but the one who wants to show them love and respect, they probably get the least amount of support from brown women, right? So it's almost like you give power to somebody else to do what they do, but then you don't want to blame the people who gave them the power, right? So brown women gave people like Kevin Samuels the power. They gave people like Tommy Sotomayor the power, right? Nick Cannon and people, just about everybody, give Jews the power, right? Because they feel like they're so powerful, but they're so powerful because people don't believe in themselves, right? They don't have confidence in themselves. They look at Jews as powerful people, and then they just back down and don't believe in themselves, right? But that's because people don't like to stick together. And because people don't come together, that is why Jews are more powerful, because the Jews are going to stick together and people are fragmented. And so the Jews, when it's like that, the Jews are going to be more powerful. And even when it comes to what's happening right now, when they want to threaten a blackout, when they want to threaten to cut the water off, when they want to close the roads and tell you can't have a job unless you get this done, or taking the food off the shelves, we give our power away because we're too spiritually lazy. We're too spiritually lazy. Now I'm saying we, because I haven't got there yet where I can just cut off all the lights and be in the complete dark and then light up myself and just, because most of us, a lot of people don't even believe they can do that. But a lot of people don't believe they can manifest food out of nothing. The whole place can be barren. But if they know how to access their own inner power, because it's only inner, there is no outer. Outer does not exist. That is something that came about when we fell lower into the lower aspects of our mind, right? We started believing the outer world. Before we fell into lower dimensions like that, we already knew we were spirit and we knew that there was no outer world. Because we fell lower and lower, we believe in the outer world. But even with that, we're too spiritually lazy to get back to that place. So now they get the power to cut off the lights and take the food. And I didn't know I was going to go this far, but that's just how I am. They take the food off the shelves and close the roads, raise the price on the gasoline, do all this stuff because we are spiritually lazy. It's just what it is. I get that, okay, we can meditate twice, 2 hours a day and stuff. What most of us should meditate on, and myself, is if you really want to access your inner power like you used to have before you fell lower and lower into these dimensions of your mind, right? What we really need to do first is, a big problem with people and why they're not accessing their power is the need to make sure they pay their bills. For many people, and most people, I think. A big problem with people really accessing their inner power is because they want to make sure their bills are paid. So I think the first thing that a lot of people, and myself included, need to do is that we need to tackle this need to make money by any means. I mean, you can own a business, however you make your money, you just know it's in you that you know you got bills to pay, regardless of how you get your money. So I'm not even talking about working 9-to-5s and having financial freedom, and I ain't talking about all that financial talk. Okay, that's for these financial educators, okay? They don't want us to talk about, what's his name? I don't want to call no names out because it might be criticism, and I ain't calling people names out to be criticizing them. But you know what, what I'm talking about is not, punching in and out or working for somebody else, even if you got your own business, even if you make money for yourself. My point is that even the thought of however you get your money, the thought of having to pay a bill, what needs to just be removed is the thought of having to pay for anything, because everything should be free. If we know that we are the all, most people know, but we know on a conscious level because we have not practiced enough to know it deeply on a spiritual level. So we just know it on a conscious level. Most of us know that we are more than our physical body. Most of us know because the physical body is an avatar. Okay, and most of us know that we are the all. Like the self is included in the all, and it does not have. You don't see what it looks like because it doesn't look like anything. So and so, with that being said, excuse me, I almost lost my thought. So with that being said, why should we pay for anything? Everything should be free. Everything should be free because everything is included in the all. Right? If I am everything, right? I'm not a physical body, right? we're spirits, right? And so with us knowing that, and we are everything, we are the all, okay, and the all is us, then what are we paying for? Why are we paying something for something that we already are? Okay? We're paying for something that we already are. That we should already be able to manifest without having to think we physically going to get it. See, that's the downfall of the physical illusion, is that money comes in between everything that you need. Okay, money seems to come in between everything that you need. A lot of people are not giving enough time to their spirituality because they need to make sure they have money to pay the bills. That's why folks have tribes that's away from the city. And they live very simple, right? They live very simple. Like the tribe, the Senegalese tribe in the Andaman Islands and the Java tribe and all those different tribes. I know it'd be hard for people like us to live like them because we ain't never lived like that before. Not in this lifetime, so I'm not saying it'd be hard to live like that, but the thing is that it wouldn't be hard for them. They can practice spirituality almost all day long because they're not worried about things like money and who's going to turn off the lights and who's going to turn off the water. Okay? Now, they could be worried about the government coming over trying to take over their land because the government and people are so greedy, these entities that run this world. So the entities that run this world are so greedy that, yeah, it could be a concern about the government and different people. Even figures like Bill Gates, right? It's a concern about them coming to run them off their lands because they're so greedy that they want to own everything. So that could be the only worry that those people might have. But other than that, there's nothing coming between. There's nothing else that's coming between them and their time to their own spirituality because they are not into a lot of materialism, right? Anyway, I just kind of went off talking. I didn't know I was going to talk this long, but that's kind of how I do, I guess. And I will talk later.